Hey, Garage Logic fans, I do a podcast on the Garage Logic Network that comes out every Wednesday and Friday now, twice a week. But here's an important caveat. There is zero logic available in my show, in the formal definition of logic. Of course, life is a yin and yang kind of thing. There's the logic side, and then there's the what the hell side, which needs to get its exercise. So come for the what the hell and stay for the you've got to be kidding me. Mishki, now Wednesdays and Fridays, twice a week.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1674, December 5th, 2025. 63 degrees, the record high on this day. That was in 2001. 14 below in 1873. Do yourself a favor and call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
I promised and I will deliver. The last 60 recorded in the calendar year will occur tomorrow. And that was December 6, 1939. We hit 63 degrees.
That's remarkable.
December 6, 1939, we hit 63 degrees. The first 60 of a new calendar year shows up on Feb 15, 1921, when it also hit 63 degrees. So I did the math. I know that I'm not supposed to, but I did it. That's 71 days between 60s. You got 15 days in Feb, 31 in January, and 25 days left in December. Actually, 24, so let's make it 70. So what's that? About 20% of the year, you have no shot of being as warm as 60 degrees in the state of Minnesota. For 80% of the year, you do. How's that?
Okay, yeah.
December 6th to Feb 15 is about 70 days, 71 days. And during those days, we have yet to record in our minimal time on Earth anything in the 60s. So there you
Do
have
you
it.
ever stop working?
No.
This sounds like something that would have taken you 30 minutes to put together.
It took at least 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, just 5 minutes. All right.
Well, I got that weather guide, so I just quickly go through it and bing, bang, boom.
Sure.
So there you have it. About 20% of the year in this godforsaken, broke state, you got no shot at ever hitting anything as warm as 60.
You know what you've just done? I think there's a lot of GLers running to their keyboards right now.
Well, I think I'm on the, what, the percentage?
I don't know, Joe. I mean, I'm willing to buy whatever you feed me, but you know.
Well, 70 into 365 is roughly
you know what they say about
20%.
Math? Yeah, okay.
All right.
If you say so.
Before I make our formal announcement, and I'm speaking for the whole staff.
Yep.
Josh wants to know, do you find it at all hypocritical that the same group of people now screaming, you can't be upset with the whole Somali community for the actions of a few, are the same people who hate all cops for the actions of the few? Absolutely correct.
Yeah,
absolutely correct. And let me get to this.
That phenomenon goes across the board with many different issues with that crowd.
Dewey writes, if Moses had scribed 11 commandments, the 11th might have read, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's chunk.
Was that Dewey? Dewey should that be number 11 or number 1?
Could be number 1.
Yeah.
Good day, Mayor. Your insight on us not paying attention. Remember yesterday I said, we just led our lives. We didn't pay attention.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're led by communist activists. Your insight on us not paying attention might confirm that your initial ruling on chunks might have been the better ruling. Mind your own business and only worry about your own chunks is tunnel vision. First, chunks should be removed right after the car is parked or driven into the garage, not before the car is driven or the salty chunk freezes harder overnight. So we're talking about kicking chunks that should have already been removed. Do we ignore neighbors or strangers who need a hand or need correcting? A neighbor kid throwing rocks at a house or a stranger on a train harassing a fellow passenger should have and would have been dealt with. But now society leans towards not getting involved. Report for others to deal with. Likewise, a neighbor who needs short-term help shoveling is not offered help, or a stranger trying to get through a door with their hands full, surrounded by people not paying attention, focused on their own world. A car at a gas station is being driven, but it's okay to kick chunks on cars on streets. It's having a care, paying attention, preventing salt damage, setting a public example by kicking them off after parking. Thanks for your show. Chief KB on the north bank of the river they call the Crow Wing. Thank you, sir.
Very well written.
Thank you, sir. What is this? Might be a gal. I don't know. Who wrote this? Jack Olson. Okay, I'm often inspired to write, but I rarely follow through. Thursday's podcast has forced me to respond to two current topics and one older topic. First, chunk kicking. I am very diligent about kicking chunks from my personal vehicles. It is a sign to others that I care about upkeep of my vehicle and the interior of my garage. Not only do I find great satisfaction in kicking chunks, it marks me as a man who has enough common sense to care about appearances and upkeep. If I encounter a vehicle with chunks, I immediately know that the owner is a person who lacks common sense and cares nothing about appearance and upkeep. Chunk buildup, especially frozen chunk buildup, is a telltale sign of lack of ambition, preparedness, common sense, and upkeep.
Yes.
An emailer has kept us up to date about neighbors of his who don't own a snow shovel or snow blower and use table salt to melt ice.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that couple has perpetual chunks on their vehicles. I like the fact that if I were to encounter them, I would know what I'm up against. Therefore, one should never kick a chunk off another person's car because we don't want that person getting more credit that is due them. Boy, that's a good twist. Second, assimilation. You mentioned that years ago immigrants assimilated to American culture quicker than today, and Scandinavians were presented as an example. My name is Olson, and I have a Swedish heritage, so I'm talking about my own people. Have they assimilated? I question that. To this day, millions of third, fourth, and even fifth-generation Scandinavians eat lutefisk. I submit that anybody who will put that crap into their mouth and not spit it out has not fully assimilated to the American way of life. I won't go so far as revoking their citizenship, but it does cross my mind. Third and older subject, this one gave me an inner glow.
Okay.
Third and older subject, wheat pennies. You have, like me, have often been chastised for saving wheat pennies. Don't listen to the dumb people. Over the years, I've collected a few older coins, mainly just for fun. My son-in-law, who knows about such things, suggested that it might be a wise time to sell the silver. He knows a guy who was honest and fair, and he would be willing to sell them for me. As long as he was going to a coin guy, I sent my hoard of wheat pennies. I will not reveal the cash amount I received, but let me ask you this. Would Josh Arnold consider an investment worthwhile that doubled in value? I think he would.
Oh.
I doubled my investment and encourage you to hold on to your wheats. I see a time in the future when your investment might triple. Jack Olson, Mora, Minnesota.
Yeah, after you've been dead for 400 years.
Jack was on a real roll there until he told us about how he turned a $1 investment into a $2 profit.
Give me something to work with
Let
here.
me ask.
Congratulations, Jack.
Yes.
You made a
Hi,
buck.
Joe.
Hi.
Let me ask a question.
Sure.
With us discontinuing the production of the penny, will the wheat penny triple in value?
They can't go down.
What is the year that you want to look for where the coins, the quarters, and the dimes were made of real silver?
Pre-64.
64, okay.
And finally, from Brian Machuro. This is a really great point. There was an Alpha News story from April 30. I remember this. We talked about it. Which questions overbilling by a Somali-owned transportation company in Roseville.
Yes,
Remember?
the minivans.
Yeah,
Yep.
we tried to track that down and got nowhere.
Yep.
Nobody has been charged from this company, but I found it interesting that the Minneapolis Public Schools senior financial officer, Ibrahimi Diop, didn't return any requests from Alpha News. The task of this transportation company was to transport homeless and highly mobile students.
Yeah.
This story in itself has a high probability of fraud, but it also got me thinking. Check this out. You mean to tell me we could have an illegal alien who was given a driver's license, working for a fraudulent transportation company, driving a student who fraudulently suffers from autism to a meal site to get a free meal which fraudulently doesn't exist? Boom, boom, boom.
I really wish we had the Minnesota Rouser on tape because we
There
could
it
have
is.
brought the Minnesota Rouser up underneath that because he's
What
so
a
right.
fraudulent time of year. You got a fraud bus driver with a fraud bus company taking a kid to a fraud autism hearing, which wouldn't exist, to take the kid to get a fraud meal, which doesn't exist. That's Minnesota.
That's your life, huh, kid?
And I'm making an announcement right now, a formal announcement. Usually people say the views of this person do not express the intent. No, my views express this staff.
100%.
100%.
Really? Isn't that more like a dictatorship?
Yeah, we should have a fanfare here. Would the board operator be able to come? Oh, he's got the.
All right, thanks, Doogie.
He's got
Good
the
job.
Rouser. All right.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll check
Joey D.
Oh, we get the voices
Pull it
with it and
down.
everything.
with our
Pull
friends
it
at
down.
ESPN.
All right,
with an
take it
update.
down.
Pull it down.
And then it's Gopher Hoops Weekly.
See you,
I
Joe.
miss Joey D.
Is that the only place we have the Rouser?
Yep. There might be another spot. We'll see.
Tim Walz should resign immediately. There is no reason this fellow should continue to hold the office of governor of the state of Minnesota. He is complicit in the fraud. There are too many sources who can corroborate that. He doesn't know what to do. He's been useless. He must go. He must resign as soon as possible. If you want to impeach him, I'll accept that. But he must resign. He's an absolute failure. He has made this country the laughing stock of the country. There is no excuse for this bumbling fellow to be the governor of Minnesota. It's an embarrassment. He should never have been governor. He must resign immediately. That's the official position of the show called Garage Logic.
Do you think he will act on that mandate from
No,
the mayor?
Matthew, what we need are the leaders in the DFL to step forward and say it out loud because I know they're thinking it, Joe.
Yeah.
When do you think they will have that revelation like they did with Biden?
I don't know.
Or will
Way
they?
too late.
But it's rather pointless. Not pointless, but it can tend to become a little wearying to come in every day and point out the fraud. We all know the fraud. And it couldn't get any worse, by the way. There's now projected budget deficit in 2 years of over $2 billion. Mm-hmm. The state has been ruined financially. It's got a welfare mentality that must be completely reinvented. And as long as we're on the topic of Walz resigning, the Republican Party of the state of Minnesota has a great task ahead of them. First of all, they must win the governorship in the next election. And in order to do that, they're going to have to get their act together. You can't have 15 people running for governor. Get your act together right now. Get in a room and pick somebody. Kristen Robbins, Lisa Demuth, Kendall Qualls. Work something out now. Now. Now, kick that pillow dipshit out of here.
Yeah, with extreme prejudice. Seriously.
Get your act together. This is so obvious how you can do this and appeal to everybody in this state. You must get your act together. I see it not happening. Get it together now. Pick your best candidate, and all of you work behind that candidate if you really care about the future of this state. There's enough prima donnas signing up to run. That's pointless.
Yeah.
Pointless.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find
swallow your pride.
A serious, experienced candidate.
Yeah.
Whom you believe wholeheartedly wants to run to save the state.
You know who I picked, Joe? Lisa and Kendall.
That's fine.
They should announce that ticket now. Congratulations if you're a lawyer and you've made it in life. We haven't heard of you. We need people like Lisa and Kendall.
Rook, look up for me. Who has announced that they're running for governor on the Republican side of the aisle in this state? It's got to be 10 people. And you're wasting our time. And you're wasting your time. We don't have time for this nonsense.
Yep.
Walz needs to resign, and your presence must be so forceful that people can't wait to vote for you. You got that, Republican Party? You've got to show this state something, not this failure you've shown.
Here's who has declared. Let me just make sure this is for this year, 2026. Okay. DFL Republicans, Lisa. Let's see. Lisa Demuth.
Yes.
Scott Jensen. Demuth, I'm sorry. Scott Jensen.
He's going to be in the mix.
Jeff Johnson.
No.
Patrick Knight.
No.
Brad Kohler.
No.
Chris Medell.
No.
Phil Parrish.
No.
Kendall Qualls.
Yes.
And then Kristen Robbins.
Yes, in the mix.
File
and
paperwork.
I don't mean any animosity at all towards those other people. But you don't have a snowball's chance in hell. So do the right thing, find the right candidate, and get busy today.
Here's who's filed paperwork. Lindell.
No.
Julia Coleman, who is the daughter-in-law of Norm.
No.
Jim Nash, state representative, has potential. And then here's who has declined. Zach Duckworth, state senator, Tom Emmer, and Pete Stauber.
Yeah. Well, they have gigs.
Right, but they're saying we're not doing that.
So, Scott Jensen.
Well, he's got to be in the meeting.
Why?
He's not...
to help right the ship, not to be a superstar.
He's got some great ideas, but he fouled his own nest last time, and you can't take the chance of him doing that again.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that. I don't think he should be a candidate. I don't care if he's in the planning committee or sitting at the table, but seriously.
I think he'd be useful to the planning committee.
Okay. And I know a lot of GLers disagree with me, but I'm sorry, he had his chance. He blew it. It didn't work. We need fresh faces, people who care. Lisa's already on the inside. She's brilliant. She's level-headed. She's got great ideas. And she's both her and Kendall. And I know a lot of you Republicans, you're going to call me a rhino. She's going to get the crossover vote. We need the crossover vote in this state.
A female and a minority self-made
See,
man.
I don't want to bring that up because neither one of them want to bring that up.
Well,
but you're right.
They don't
You're right,
need to.
Reavers. That's going to appeal to the crossover voter.
Here's the deal, too. It's the Republican Party who blew it, not necessarily Johnson. They should have nominated Qualls.
Right.
because Johnson had made Jensen had made some terrible errors.
Yeah, and you called him out right away.
And the other thing I would advise the Republican Party, you better you're not Trump people. You're Minnesota people trying to save the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
So keep Trump out of your BS.
Yeah, and let those questions bounce off you. Just ignore those stupid questions because the Star Tribune and all the lefties are going to try to pigeonhole you and call you a Trump person. Just ignore all that nonsense. You're from Minnesota. You're one of us. You're not a Trumper.
Okay. I have great...
So wait a minute. So let's think about that for a second, Joe. What does that mean to the average voter in Minnesota if you ignore the Trump factor as a Republican? Is that going to harm you?
No.
Why?
Because the alternative is so damaged and so unqualified that a Republican can just be a Republican. You don't have to be a Trump Republican to win in this state.
So the message there that I took away from there is you Trump folks, knock off this rhino nonsense. Look what's happened to our state. We've got to come together and we've got to get behind a really good candidate. Knock off the rhino nonsense. That's what Reagan did. When Reagan, he healed the party basically by not hammering on the other side. We've got to do that again.
Walz, you must resign as sooner than later, and the Republican Party, get your bleeping act together now. I've got great news about EcoFund.
Really? That's a transition. That is one segue. That's a professional.
He just came into a corner, hit the brakes, downshifted into first.
I'm backing out of the alley. Right now, there's an EcoFund Christmas sale. Get this, free 16-inch electric bike for kids. That's $799 value with any e-bike, ATV, youth ATV, dirt bike, golf cart, wave runner, motorcycle, or scooter purchase. You're getting an $800 bike for the kid on top of what you're getting. Step through electric bikes regularly $18.99, on sale for $8.99. You get the free e-bike for the kids or the grandkids. Now I got to get out there again. MSA 550E electronic fuel injected ATVs with 50-inch snowplow for $58.99. Plus, you qualify for the free bike. Yamaha generators in stock at both stores, Forest Lake and Burnsville. On sale now as low as $9.99 for pull start and $10.99 for the electric start. Not to mention good selection of pre-owned Yamaha and Ski-Doo snowmobiles in stock, ready to hit the trails, and it looks like you're going to have a snowmobile winter. This is EcoFun. It's going to be the most fun store you've ever entered. It's in Forest Lake on Highway 97, immediately west of Interstate 35. Just three roundabouts, bing, bang, boom, you're there. You've entered heaven. Now, if you're in Burnsville, it's on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. Go in there and take advantage of the EcoFund Christmas sale. EcoFundMotorsports.com.
We'll get to some national, international stuff in a minute. Before we do, I got to tell you about something. Boy, I love it. We've had it in my house now for, I think, about 3 months. And it makes a great Christmas gift. You might be one of those people, you put off your Christmas shopping to the last minute, end up maybe buying a gift card. Well, this year, I can take care of that issue for you. Get yourself an Aura frame. My wife and I took our favorite photos and videos, loaded them all into the new Aura frame. Right now, that's about 750 items, and I guarantee we're going to have a lot of new pictures to add once this Christmas season is over. And it's really, really easy to use.
John, can you download them from your phone?
Just from your phone, exactly. So I had all those pictures on my phone. I got the Aura frame, and I just started hitting boom, boom, boom.
Yes,
All you have to do is download the Aura app. and connect it to Wi-Fi and start adding pictures. It's really easy to use. Chris, if I may use your favorite word, it literally took just a couple of minutes to set it up.
I know someone that just recently purchased this, and that person is so thrilled and really thinks that person has cheated Christmas because it's such a wonderful gift that there's no more worry.
I've taken care of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't name you, but okay.
The other thing is, it's, we've all had picture frames in the past, and they're kind of weird, cloudy, not great. It looks like the actual photos in front of you. The screen is gorgeous. It's perfect. It's easy to do. For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off of Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. All you have to do is use the promo code GL at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code GL. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You can wrap togetherness, but you can't frame it. Aura Frames.
Hey. What's with these taxes?
Hit it.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
I've never actually publicly come out against a cylinder, but I'm going to do it now. And worse yet, I'm doing it during a Seafoam endorsement. That might not be advisable. The worst single cylinder tool, utility, whatever, ever made is the gas-operated one-lunger ice auger. This thing was made by Satan. Hard to start, hard to keep running, always runs too rich. It smokes out the fish house. You have to run it at half throttle when you're not augering. My one-lunger ice auger was the reason why I switched to a battery-operated auger. Here's what I would have to do every year, every fall, right about now when I'm planning to go out on the ice, to get that ice auger running. First of all, get rid of the gas in the tank. I don't care if it's treated or not. Dump it out, get rid of it, throw it away. Pull the plug, throw that away. Spray a little bit of Seafoam top engine cleaner into both the carb and the cylinder. Pull it over a few times with no spark plug. Then install the new plug. Dump in fresh gas. Give it a half ounce. A tiny bit, a half ounce of Seafoam, and then fire it up and run it. It should run good. Now, if you use it a lot over the course of the winter, every single time you put gas in it, feed it another half ounce shot of Seafoam. And you shouldn't have a problem if you treat those cylinders on the regular. And you know what? When the season's over, dump the gas out. Run that carb dry. That's the only way to keep these awful, awful machines running. Seafoam, always the cylinder's best friend. It doesn't matter if it's a one-lunger or a big car, a tractor, whatever. If it's fossil fuel fired, gas or diesel, Seafoam is your ticket. It cleans, it rejuvenates, it makes everything fantastic. Truly a wonderful product in a world of bad gas. Seafoam.
John, would you do me a favor? Go to the site of The Spectator, that great UK site. We were very enamored by one of their pundits, whose name escapes me. Great writer. And if you mention some of the writers to me, I'll remember his name.
Okay.
That's a UK?
I believe The Spectator is a UK-based conglomerate of pretty witty, conservative people. One of whom...
David Shipley.
No.
Matt Ridley.
No.
Gavin Mortimer.
No.
Angela Epstein.
Yes. Oh, boy.
John Power.
No.
Matthew Paris. Toby Young.
No.
Max Jeffrey. Rod Little. Liddle, John Power. Hang on, I have to switch pages here. We have more. Michael Gove. Did I say that already?
I wonder what it was. I can't remember what we were talking about.
P.J. O'Rourke wrote for The Spectator.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a UK magazine.
Well, I have
Joe.
a piece from The Spectator by Matt Ridley. I think you mentioned him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's just a wonderful, wonderful bit of speculation on his part, but the headline is the end of the climate cult. He quite seriously believes that the whole climate change movement is over, due in no small part to the complete failure of this recent climate summit they held in Belém, Brazil.
Yeah.
He said it was a complete bust. It didn't work. Bill Gates has had a recent apologia in which he conceded that global warming will not lead to humanity's demise. It goes on and on and on. I won't read you the whole thing, but there's really one really important reason why it's over. Can anyone take a shot at that?
Trump.
Trump has been very helpful in ending it. Yes.
Yeah.
They've run out of ideas. They don't have anything new.
Well, Chris is on the right track with money. AI needs so much electricity that they cannot. The whole Silicon Valley crowd has completely reversed. It was fun for them for a while to pretend they were liberals and let's campaign for climate change. When they realized the unreliability of intermittent power sources running the banks of what they're going to need to bring about AI, they need every bit of fossil fuel power you can find, and they're not ashamed to say it.
Wow.
Do you understand that?
I understand that they're going to have warehouses full of computers. That's all I understand.
I don't get it. So when I go to the Grok, some generators are firing up somewhere in Mid-Ohio. I don't understand that.
Well, imagine the computer power required when 7 million people at the same time go on Grok to ask 7 different million questions.
Yeah. Okay. I see needles redlining.
Yeah. It's just a great piece. I recommend it. The Spectator. It's. I hope to God this guy's correct. In 1987, he had written a story, this Ridley, cheering on the movement. He was a big believer, but now he's seen the light, like Bjorn Lomborg and others.
2:// World.
This is AI.
Period. Orgia.
Yep, that's AI.
Orgia.
Yeah. And he notes that it's been a long, lucrative ride for people. That phony Al Gore made a lot of money, for example.
Yeah, I mentioned an ice auger in fish houses during that Seafoam ad, and I have a panel on the side of my fish house that I used to charge my battery. Mm-hmm. And if the sun sets at 4:30 and it's dark by 5 p.m., my battery is dead before it's dark. I mean, it charges my battery, but it doesn't last more than 30 minutes, and I have to fire up the generator. I don't understand how people are getting so much use out of the sun and their batteries to where it's powering everything.
Well, on a percentage basis, it virtually is non-existent. So,
yeah.
If you want to continue to throw up windmills, go ahead. But it's pointless.
The solar during the day, it'll charge my cell phone. That's about all it does, though. I got to be honest.
I keep telling you about that one windmill I see on 169.
Yeah,
between Elk River and Princeton. That thing couldn't power a toaster.
Just north of Elk River. Yeah, and most of the time it's not turning.
It's never turning.
It's just sitting there.
I have 2 lights on I have a flag out back, and one of them is solar. If it's not sunny out, it lasts until about 7 p.m. and then it's out. It's gone.
What am I doing wrong? It doesn't work for me.
In fact, what Ridley predicts is that the next hysteria might very well involve the kind of activism against AI that you've seen for climate change.
That's what Kenny wants. Yeah.
I know only enough to be dangerous.
And AI and social media, both of them.
To its credit, because the conventional news gatherers aren't going to do it, Alpha News has examined whether illegal aliens can receive these new family-paid and medical leave funds. And the Walz administration won't say. They won't answer the question.
Isn't that just a clean cut yes or no? Or
Minnesota will become part of a growing number of states that offers paid leave benefits to residents. However, the state agency running the paid leave program refuses to say whether illegal aliens can access paid leave benefits. In 2023, Democrats in control of state government, that's when they did a lot of their wrecking. The wrecking ball really happened a lot in 2023. There went the $18 billion surplus, for example. There went the approval for $1 billion new office building, on and on. And the fraud was at its height and hasn't even cooled down yet. That's another thing.
What?
Let me tell you something. The job the Republicans face is going to transcend politics. They have to get their act together so well, so professionally, so thoroughly, and so efficiently to make the voters understand that this state needs reinvention. The entitlement mentality and the number of welfare programs in this state has to be reinvented. There are too many. There's your fraud, autism, daycare, night care, food, on and on and on. Stop it! This is ridiculous. Walz must resign. Back to the family leave. Okay, we know about that. During the leave, program recipients are paid between 55 and 90% of their regular wages. I don't know. How will that work? I don't know the answer to that question. Well, what determines whether you get...
I think Matthew does. Yeah.
If you make $100,000, you will be only making $90,000.
So it's means tested.
Yes.
So... The less money you make, the higher percentage of your income you'll get back.
What? No.
If you make 50, then you'll only be making 45. So it's you're making 90% of what you're.
Thank you. It's 90%.
So you're not being paid your full check. You're only being paid
90% of your
But the $100,000 a year person is going to get 55%.
Where did that come from?
No.
Here's a guy that can't do math.
Family Feud strike number one.
Let me reread the
Should we
sentence.
back the tape up and just erase this?
During that leave, program recipients are paid between 55% and 90% of their regular wages. At present, weekly benefits cannot exceed $1,423 per week.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
The funding for the program comes from payroll taxes on employers and employees.
Yes.
We knew that. Every Minnesota employer is required to participate in the program except for independent contractors, Indian tribes, and those who are self-employed. Businesses across Minnesota have consistently warned that the cost of the program will lead to business closures. And I would insist that one of the reasons a new regime of hopefully Republican leadership must take over is that you've got to disabuse this state of the idea that somehow business is the enemy, that capitalism is the enemy. This is what's ruining us. You can't tell me that this family leave program isn't born of some contempt for people who have succeeded.
Yeah, if your small business closes, you don't have a family leave act to go to. You don't have a job anymore. And they are in serious threat of that because there are people that will... I mean, I know Governor Walz doesn't believe that any Minnesotan would take advantage of anything.
He's wrong. We don't...
But people will take advantage of it, not realizing they're shooting their employer in the foot.
Alpha News wanted to know whether illegal aliens are eligible to receive paid leave benefits in the same way they are eligible to receive Minnesota's driver's license and a tuition-free college education. The Minnesota Chamber of Commerce, perhaps the chief critic of the paid leave law, has noted that undocumented workers are eligible to receive paid leave benefits. Of course, undocumented workers is just another way of saying illegal aliens. As such, Alpha News reached out to the Chamber about the claim. A spokesperson for the chamber said much of its information came from the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development, the state's agency that will oversee paid leave. The chamber spokesperson noted that a reference to undocumented workers being eligible for paid leave appeared to be scrubbed from a DEED webpage.
Okay, stop right there, Joe. Why?
Well,
and are they still eligible?
Well,
it's just not mentioned?
Well, I'm getting to that.
Well, it doesn't cover that.
In turn, Alpha News reached out to DEED and asked whether illegal aliens are eligible for paid leave. The state agency was also asked to identify the portion of state law that allows illegal aliens to receive paid leave benefits.
Yeah.
And all DEED did was send a statement to Alpha that said paid leave provides partial wage replacement and job protection for Minnesota workers. Eligibility for benefits is based in part on wages paid to individuals working within the state. Employers report employee wages quarterly, including employee social security number and individual taxpayer number provided by the IRS. So I don't know what the answer is.
That's called obfuscating. Obfuscating?
Yes.
Obfuscating.
This state obviously intends to pay illegal aliens under the corrupt current administration.
They just won't admit it. Yeah.
Walz must resign today.
Okay, Matthew, I'm going to go to you as the expert. I have a question.
Oh,
no. And Joe read the paragraph.
This is an unbelievable turn of events.
Boy,
It really is.
if I had a nickel for every time I heard that, I'd have a nickel.
Matthew's the only person that seems to grasp this. And I'm going to read a paragraph Joe just read. Every Minnesota employer is required to participate in the program except independent contractors, Indian tribes, and those who are self-employed. Okay, stop right there. Say I'm an independent contractor. I've got a hired man. Hired man doesn't get any benefits. All he does is get a paycheck.
Yep.
Does that mean he is not eligible for this, my hired man?
Yes.
Okay.
It means he's not eligible because you have to be an employee. So if I choose, I've got to take care of Gabe because he's bedridden for 8 weeks.
Yeah.
I can be granted the leave from here, but I'm not going to get paid because I'm an independent contractor.
Oh, you get the leave, but you don't get the money.
Correct.
What do you have to say, young man?
And why are you sick?
Well, I think that they inadvertently said that they will be doing stuff and paying things for undocumented workers because they're able to obtain a tax number.
Mm-hmm.
So if you reread what you said from DEED, they said as long as that person has a social security number or a tax number, they're eligible to receive benefits.
This has fraud written all over it.
But
good ear, Gabe. That's really good. You're right.
But when I am paid from Hubbard, I'm responsible for my own taxes, for my own Social Security, for my own state withholding, and federal withholding.
But you're also covered by the airport.
But Matt, I guess
if I was just 100% here,
I confuse the matter. When I think independent contractor, I think of a guy that shows up in a work truck and wires your house or fixes your plumbing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking about. So his hired man would not be eligible.
Well,
when I think of independent contractor, I think of Rook and I. We're independent contractors.
I'm an independent contractor at the Pioneer Press.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're an employee here, so your family leave
I
will be covered by Hubbard.
I don't plan to do any of this.
We shouldn't be talking about this. We're just making things.
I think we're.
This is word soup.
Yeah.
But you're right, Gabe. I think Gabe hit on it. Employers report employee wages quarterly, including employees' Social Security number or an individual taxpayer identification number provided by the IRS. That's the answer.
I just like that the emailers aren't going to let us down on this topic.
Oh, my God. We're just going to be crucified.
Right.
Oh, and I don't blame them at all.
When you get out to EcoFun and get that new recreational device, you want to get home, stick it in the garage, and your garage door better seal up tight. And right now, if you need a new garage door from Precision Garage Doors, there are models for every budget and deals for GLers. $100 off a single door, $200 off a double door, Think of what that accomplishes. Improves the aesthetics, saves some energy, improves security. If you like your current door, there's nothing wrong with it, but you think she's making a little racket that it shouldn't be making, book Precision Doors Noisy Door Tune-Up Special. That's $150, $149. Normally a $290 value. They'll run a diagnostic test. Here we go.
Rejoin.
For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off of Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. All you have to do is use the promo code GL at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code GL. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You can wrap togetherness, but you can't frame it. Aura Frames.
Hey.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
North American Banking Company. They've been with us since 1998 and investing in your success since then, and they made a promise to deliver a better banking experience for your customers where you know your banker and they know you. And while a lot has changed since then, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities, that has not. But you got to see it for yourself at any one of their 6 convenient Twin Cities locations, whether it's 50th in France, Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, and also Maple Grove. Oh, wait, I didn't mention Roseville, by the way. Sorry about that. They offer the same online and mobile banking options as those other big national banks, but the key difference is you're going to get the unparalleled service of a community bank. So like I said, check it out for yourself. See them online today. It's nabankco.com to learn more. It's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender.
Here is Mr. John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news is brought to you by North American Banking Company. The latest budget and economic forecast, which Joe's been talking about, from Minnesota Management and Budget, released yesterday, projects a $2.465 billion surplus for the current 26-27 biennium.
Unbelievable.
Well, that's the good news, $2.465 billion surplus. However,
The bad news is they're going to give it away.
it also projects a $2.96 billion deficit for the 2028-29 biennium. Back in March, you might remember the state projected a $456 million surplus in the current biennium and about a $6 billion deficit in 2028-29. So as you can hear from that, a lot has changed over the last 9 months. MMB characterized the state's overall budget and economic outlook as stable, but acknowledged structural budget challenges remain. The agency will give a more thorough update on the budget forecast, but said the changes to the current biennium projections are due to higher near-term revenue collections offset by bigger spending estimates, while the updates to the next biennium estimates stem from higher health care costs and slow economic growth. Federal officials say they arrested the worst of the worst undocumented immigrants during a law enforcement operation in Minneapolis this week. A spokesperson for the Department of Homeland Security said yesterday they arrested 12 people with varying levels of criminal history. The dozen people are from Somalia, Mexico, El Salvador, according to DHS. Federal officials say 8 of them have been charged or convicted of crimes including DUI, criminal sexual conduct, domestic violence, and assault, and didn't specify when or where. A search from Minnesota court case records showed 11 convictions between 3 of the men, with 7 of those convictions occurring over a decade ago. Meanwhile, a broad swath of religious leaders packed into a South Minneapolis mosque yesterday to show solidarity and condemn the ongoing attacks from President Trump against the Somali community here. The crowd of more than 50 inside the Islam Center consisted of imams, pastors, rabbis, and leaders from other religions who took turns cheering in support of Somali neighbors. Reports of the increased immigration and customs enforcement presence in the Twin Cities targeting the Somali population.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but did that same crowd ever get together to denounce fraud?
That was a rhetorical question.
It was.
it not? John, was Chief Brian O'Hara at that?
I did not see any story referencing him. Perhaps he was. I didn't see that he was.
Because I saw footage of something akin to that, with a lot of prayers and maybe some singing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it looked like there was about 10, 15 people there, and half of those people had cameras, as in they were news reporters. It didn't look like 50 people. I saw nothing but empty chairs.
Okay.
May I ask a question?
Where was this, Kenny?
Oh, I don't know, Matthew. The sound was down, and it kind of sounds like I was watching the same thing John just talked about, where the story you were given, John, said packed
50.
in. Did they use the word packed
No, they didn't
in?
use packed in. They just, they did. They said packed into a South Minneapolis mosque and said a crowd of more than 50.
Yeah, I can verify that because I mentioned to my wife there was numerous news outlets there, and there were more folding chairs than there were people.
Okay,
it was two rows of people, and they made it sound. They had people singing "Kumbaya." And all
so
that
we
kind
saw
of
the
stuff.
same thing.
Yes, I was just verifying that we were talking about the same.
I doubt that religion was singing "Kumbaya."
Well, they had women that had beautiful. There was these black women that had great voices, and they were singing, but it was to an empty room.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Nobody cared for their cause last night. Anyway,
where'd you get that story, John?
I'd rather not say, Kenny.
Okay,
Johnny. The other thing is the list of things that you said that these illegals were cited for. It was what? It was.
I understand.
Criminal
John.
sexual conduct. It was
DUI, criminal sexual conduct, domestic violence, and assault.
So were these the same people that were protesting ICE working this type of operation? Was that involved in this particular case?
We don't know that, Chris.
Well, that's why I'm asking the newsman.
We're making a big deal out of this, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wish I'd not added any of that story.
I kind of wish I wouldn't have asked. Now that I know what I know,
Well, I guess the point I'm trying to make is these protesters that are protesting this stuff, they're foolish for doing so. There's a reason these guys are doing their job.
I don't think that these people were involved in the protest. Is that your question, Chris? I'm sorry.
I don't care anymore.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
his
let's
question.
just quickly move to the next
I
story.
find a
Let's
different
quickly
story.
move on. Thank you. The owner of Lutzen Resort Lodge has been charged in connection with that fire that destroyed it back in February of 2024. Bryce James Campbell faces 3 counts of first-degree arson, 1 count of insurance fraud. Court documents say he was arrested in Michigan this week. In a news conference announcing his arrest, BCA Superintendent Drew Evans called the fire a crime of selfishness. He said Bryce Campbell put his interests over the livelihood of his employees, the safety of the people that were in the building at the time, and the community that was there. According to a criminal complaint, Campbell purchased the resort and its assets for $6.75 million in 2018. He and his company, Shores Resort Company, later entered into 3 contracts for deed to buy Superior Shores Resort for a combined $14.5 million in 2020. Authorities responded to the resort overnight on February 6th of 2024 on a report of a structure fire. They tried to put it out, but it quickly grew and consumed nearly the entire resort, according to court documents. Firefighters needed to put water on what remained of the resort for 3 days after the fire. Crews responded to the resort after getting a 911 call from an employee saying that he saw smoke coming through the floor. In an interview with investigators, a separate employee said they tried to reach Campbell around the time of the fire, but they couldn't. The employee called Campbell's husband and told him about the fire. Court documents said that Campbell's husband tried to call him over 30 times and sent 9 unanswered Facebook messages in the hours after the fire. He was eventually able to get in contact with him and texted the employee that Campbell was at the resort and not doing good. That's a quote. In an interview with investigators, Campbell said he didn't speak with law enforcement or fire crews that were at the resort when he got there. None of the staff members interviewed saw Campbell at the scene the night of the fire. When they asked him where he was at the time, Campbell told investigators he had gone home, bought a pizza, and went to bed. However, surveillance video showed a white SUV driving toward the resort prior to the fire and away from the resort after the fire. In an insurance proceeding, Campbell had said he was driving a white SUV at the time of the fire. And Campbell's companies were over $14 million in debt at the time of the fire.
So the owner was married to a guy.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, which is apropos of nothing. I just want to know if I heard it correctly.
Yes.
Yeah.
But a couple things are missing from that. So when we went home to cook the pizza, Was he like Reavers and forgot about it and burnt it to a crisp?
He didn't live at the...
And then when he went to his room, did he go completely naked like Johnny Heidt and flip on the air and the heat full blast?
These are all rhetorical questions.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
And a driver is in critical condition after his vehicle crashed into the deck of a house, which then collapsed onto the vehicle. It happened in Brooklyn Park. The crash happened about 10:40 yesterday morning, West Broadway and 62nd Avenue North. When police got there, they found a vehicle that had crashed into the deck of a nearby house, causing the deck to then fall onto the car. Officers were able to locate the driver, an adult man, and pulled him from the car, taken to the hospital in critical condition at last word.
Was that a medical? Is that what caused that crash?
They did not say.
Okay.
Why don't we take a quick break here and come back in a moment with more news.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
This one's my favorite. Let's give this one a name right now.
Gentle Breeze?
Oh, that was the name of your...
Flat tire on the interstate.
Yes.
Spoon Lake retrospect.
Rainy night in Brooklyn.
Oh, one of my finest.
Am I supposed to do news now?
Yes.
It's tough, isn't it, John?
No spots. I see.
I
Okay.
had one I wish I would have recorded.
In national and international news, the man charged with planting those 2 pipe bombs near the Democratic and Republican Party headquarters is, according to sources, cooperating with the FBI on the matter. He apparently told them that on the eve, he planned them on the eve of the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol and told the FBI, he believed conspiracy theories about the 2020 election being rigged. He is 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. Cole expected to make his first actual court appearance today. He was charged yesterday with leaving the bombs outside of the Republican National Committee and Democratic National Committee in the hours before supporters of Donald Trump stormed the U.S. Capitol. He was charged with transporting an explosive device and attempted malicious destruction by means of explosive materials. The pipe bombs he's accused of planting were found the day of the January 6th riots, although investigators said now they were placed near there the day before. For years, the unresolved case fueled conspiracy theories about the bombs, including claims that by some Trump allies, that the devices were planted as part of an inside job to discredit President Trump's supporters by people they called deep state law enforcement. Dan Bongino, the former right-leaning podcaster who now is the FBI's deputy director, was one of the most prominent voices advancing those theories. Yesterday, he wouldn't talk much about that. He did say only that the man was arrested. Bongino, Attorney General Pam Bondi, and FBI Director Kash Patel also used the lack of an earlier arrest to accuse the Biden administration of not aggressively pursuing the inquiry.
Is Bongino an attorney? Do we know?
I don't
What's his
know.
first
How do you
name?
go from hosting a podcast to the second-hand man at the FBI?
Ooh, sounds like someone's jealous.
Yeah, you jealous?
Why haven't I been called?
Maybe it's the same reason you never win any awards.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
You don't have the right friends, obviously, Joe.
guess.
Is it Dan? It's
trouble.
Dan Bongino,
That
right?
a boy, Matt.
Yeah,
That's
look
it.
who
How you doing? It says early life. You raised in Queens. How you
Is he a
doing?
lawyer or not? I don't want you to read the whole thing.
I don't think he's a lawyer, wasn't he? He was a Secret
Master of
Service
Business
agent.
Administration degree from Pennsylvania State.
That's it. You don't have to tell me anymore.
Archbishop Malloy High School.
He was a Secret Service agent at one point, right?
Yes,
I believe.
correct. From 95 to 2011, Secret Service and Law Enforcement Officer.
Yeah,
Well, at least
there
he
you
has
go.
some background.
There you go.
Yeah.
A powerful federal public health advisory committee voted early today to reverse decades-old guidance from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that recommended a hepatitis B vaccine for infants at birth. New recommendation passed by the committee will tell parents of most infants to consult with doctors about whether their baby should be inoculated at birth. Infants not vaccinated at birth are suggested to receive their first dose no earlier than 2 months months of age, according to the referendum. The vote passed within 8 votes, with 8 votes in favor and 4 against. The measure has been widely criticized by public health experts in the U.S. Dr. Cody Meisner, former chief of division of the pediatric infectious disease at Tufts Medical Center, said, "We are doing harm by changing this wording. Hepatitis B infections can lead to liver cancer, liver failure, and death over the long term. Since the CDC introduced its universal hepatitis B vaccine recommendation for newborns in 1991, the incidence of pediatric hepatitis B virus has dropped by 99%.
And right now we're not providing them? Is that the new rule?
Well, that's the new recommendation.
The new recommendation is not to take it?
Well, it's not to take it. It's just it won't be automatic. So the parent has to ask
for
it.
It's prevented 99.9% of juvenile hepatitis.
Correct, yeah. Huh. President Trump has hired a new architecture firm to oversee the design of the new ballroom, the White House said on Thursday, a move that comes after he had multiple disagreements with the original designer. The president has now chosen...
Not enough gold.
No, it's
ballrooms are us.
No, gold world. Gold world, yes.
Yeah.
The president chose Shalom.
Pimp lives here.
Yes. Pimp my ballroom.
Oh, wow. The president chose Shalom Baranis Associates, a Washington, D.C.-based firm that has designed other government buildings to oversee the next phase of the project. The selection comes after the president had clashed with the original designer, McCrary Architects, as the president has insisted on increasing the size and scope of the ballroom in a short timeline. James McCreary, who runs McCreary Architects, which is known for its work building Catholic churches, had personally presented the president with plans of a design that would be in keeping with the rest of the White House. But their visions diverged as Trump's ambitions for the project grew. The president tore down the East Wing in October after pledging that the White House wouldn't touch that, and is seeking to build a ballroom more than 4 times as big as the 20,000 square foot one at his Mar-a-Lago club in Florida that inspired it.
Remember what Trump once said of John McCain, "I like my heroes who don't get caught"?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I like my presidents to have taste that goes beyond Las Vegas funeral home chic.
What about Shalom Baranis?
Yeah.
Mazel.
It's too bad he didn't ask me, because I have a former client that could really help, ShermanBullBuildings.com.
Yeah, that'd be better.
We could throw up a barn dominium there that would look pretty damn good.
With a little escape room for him to hang out in?
Heated floors, the whole deal.
There was one guy, Ken, that had a bunch of designs. There was it was almost like a thread on social. One had a Buc-ee's gas station, and one you got to find it. It's hysterical.
That's funny. And Netflix has struck a deal with Warner Brothers Discovery, the legacy Hollywood giant behind Harry Potter and Friends, to buy its studio and streaming business for $72 billion. Wow. That acquisition would bring 2 of the industry's biggest players in film and TV under one roof, alter the entertainment industry landscape. Beyond its namesake television and motion picture division, Warner owns HBO Max and DC Studios. And Netflix, of course, is ubiquitous with on-demand content and has built its own production arm to release popular titles like Stranger Things and Squid Game. David Zaslav is CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. He said in a statement today, "By coming together with Netflix, we will ensure people everywhere will continue to enjoy the world's most resonant stories for generations to come." The cash and stock deal is valued at $27.75 per Warner share, giving it a total enterprise value of about $82.7 billion. The transaction is expected to close in the next 12 to 18 months after Warner finishes up its previously announced separation of its cable operations. Not included in the deal are networks like CNN and Discovery. The bid will draw tremendous antitrust scrutiny, both TV and movie production. The merger would bring 2 of the streaming world's biggest names, Netflix and HBO Max, under the same ownership. And this sounds like it's from a sitcom script. Evansville, Indiana, police say a man is in jail on robbery and unlawful handgun possession charges. According to a press release, officers were dispatched in reference to a holdup in progress. Officials say the caller said her boyfriend was robbed of his firearm. When they got there, the victim told officers that the suspect, later identified as David Johnson, had asked to see his firearm. Police say the victim initially gave the gun to Johnson unloaded. He then asked for a magazine to see how much the gun weighed loaded. He handed him the magazine. After loading the firearm, Johnson pointed it at the victim and said he would not be getting his gun back. Witnesses gave the same account of the incident. Police say Johnson fled the scene but was later located by officers and taken into custody.
Thank you, John.
I've seen that a number of times in movies, notably The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Let's take a time out and get Patrick.
What's coming up on the run?
Yep.
Okay, Joe.
What?
Well, why is he biting?
I have hunted men. I have
That's
hunted
not
men
it.
in that
That's
chair.
not it. That's it.
It's like Stan and Ollie in the office.
Hey, Pat.
Yes.
Reavers is innocent, by the way. I got to stop asking him that controversial question every time. What's on everybody's mind?
That's stupid of you to do that.
Well, no, he's upgraded because it used to be, who are we mad at today?
Yeah, right.
He softened it.
Too, but I'm just trying to get a little 30-second primer, and then there's
Well, you know what? Join the town council and get with it.
Patrick, speaking of the town council, we made Souchere tell the pedicure story on the council. And it was
We're
a
not
hit.
on the council now, are we, Kenny?
No, we're not.
That is one of my 5 favorites, and there are a few.
It's one of the best Joe stories ever. I think all listeners should hear it, actually.
No, just, Pat, what do we got in sports?
In fact, Pat, I'm so mad at myself for not recording your reaction to that on Monday.
I was thinking of getting the first pedicure of my life, but there's no chance now. I'd rather lose a foot. Yeah.
Anything going on in sports?
Well, we got
the Wild lost last night, 4-1.
That's because they took Wally the Wall out of the goal. They got one goal. That's enough with Wally the Wall, but they let Gus play, and he gave up 3, and then empty netter at the end. But it's kind of funny that I think this was their first regulation loss in 13 games, but I think their last 2 losses have been to a couple of the turkeys in the league, right? The bottom of the league. So Calgary,
Buffalo,
Buffalo stinks too. So,
they played in Edmonton the other night, and one of the TV shots was outside the stadium, looking at downtown Edmonton.
Yes,
and beyond it, to me, it was eerie. It was just darkness. They're so far up there. There's not a damn thing past Edmonton.
There is. By the way, have you have in your long and prestigious career been in the Saddle Dome, right, in Calgary?
I have not.
It's going away. It is going away. They're finally got them to build a new one to kind of keep the team in town. So they're building a new one. Of course, the Saddle Dome is one of my 5 favorite quotes in the history of my sports writing career.
Yeah.
I'm sitting next to Morganti watching Sweden play Russia, and the Russians are going through them, and Morganti turns to me and says, "You know what's wrong with Sweden? They got too damn many Swedes."
Who does Morganti write for?
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Forever. Yeah. He was the Verdi of Philadelphia, but he was there he covered the Flyers forever, but he was I think he's still going. He's like Verdi was the historian for the Blackhawks for a while, and I think Morganti's got some job like that for the Flyers.
Is Verdi still with us?
Yeah, he's still with us, but he's not working anymon
Okay.
He's not, of course, some of the greatest quotes ever when Don Pearson turns to him in the press box in the Bears game and says, "What are you writing, Bob?" And Bob says, "Finger bleep." A finger bleep. And Pearson says, "Thanks, Bob. I'll stay away from that." words. I don't know. I
Yeah.
might crank out something. You
Right,
know. Anyway.
right.
Bertie was. I brought him up a couple of days ago about something. What was one of his great lines? Oh, his great line about the Bears. He says he said that the Bears had not beaten a good team all season, including when they beat themselves.
Right.
So, and I was going to use that for our football team, for our Vikings team the other day. So.
Pat, do the Gophers know who they're playing yet, and in what bowl?
We don't know till Sunday, but I think the good news is they don't have to go back to Detroit. They're going to maybe go to New York for that bowl in Yankee Stadium, which doesn't really get an elite field, but they might end up out in Vegas for some bowl too.
Yeah.
So,
And what do you think of J.J. McCarthy's chances for success on Sunday?
I think the coach has gone goofy. That's what I think. Because 3 weeks ago he was saying, well, his fundamentals are screwed up, and he's got the wrong posture in the pocket, and he's doing all this stuff wrong. And then yesterday he says, forget all that stuff, just go ahead and wing it.
Yeah.
So he's not. We have discovered he's a little thin-skinned, I think, O'Connell. He doesn't. I was told that, now I wasn't in on it, but there was a kind of a long session out there about a month ago where he aired all his grievances off the record to the fellas. So, anyway.
To the press or to the team?
To the press.
Okay.
But you know what I miss is, what I'd love to see is, the Pioneer Press football writer for several years was Chris Thomason, and then he went out to Denver. Mm-hmm. But he was the greatest question asker of all time. Zim, like his head would explode when this guy asked him questions.
Yeah.
It was that we called him the Tom Bomb, because it was he'd ask anything. But O'Connell, if he was still in town and citing all the horrific statistics about McCarthy, O'Connell would blow his gasket. So,
Pat, the best example of that was toward the end of the Zimmer run, and Thomason asked Mike Zimmer, Coach, are you worried at all about your job security? And Zimmer got all red faced, looked at him and said, "No, but I'm worried about yours."
You'd also hear Zimmer when he could see that Thomason was ready to ask a question, he'd go, "Oh, Jesus." Under his breath. He was swearing under his breath before he even heard the question.
What football game are you covering this weekend? Are you going to be at River Falls?
I am going to River Falls. Yes, I am. I had to check today. They have an elevator to the press box, so I'm going up there.
One of life's simple pleasures.
It's River Falls and St. John's, right?
Yeah. Should be a dandy. I was out there the other day. It's, they're the home team, River Falls. It's 30 miles away. But, actually St. John's is probably an underdog in this game. They got the quarterback from Fridley. When you want to know Fabulous Fridley?
Yeah.
They got the Wisconsin, Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year from, in the quarterback, Blaha from River Falls. And then they got the Defensive Player of the Year, Devin Williams, in the MIAC.
Really?
Fridley. A few years ago, Fridley was tough. This year they were 0-9, though. Things have gone downhill. So
this weekend there's some big games, though, right? SEC championship, stuff like that.
Big Ten
championship.
I gotta tell you the joy of still writing columns.
All right.
Okay. I'm writing about Devin Williams. I was out there yesterday, and I don't know a lot about him. I've seen him play a few times, and I said, "You got any siblings?" He said, "Yeah, I got 2 older brothers." I said, "What do they do?" He said, "They're professional wrestlers."
Really?
They're professional wrestlers. They're with the AEW, which is on the TNT.
Yeah.
They've on the TNT thing, and they're they're pretty prominent. But I expected them to say, well, one guy sells cars and the other does something else. And,
Matthew, wasn't the AEW part of the High Criers?
Oh, that's the High Criers, not the High Flyers.
Well, who owns the AEW? The TNT put them on after they lost the WWF, I think, or WWE or whatever it is. But they're prominent guys. And
funny thing about Mr. Saito, he would hide salt in his hands and throw the foreign substance in his opponent's eyes, and that's how
we always thought that maybe that wasn't real salt, though, Jesse. We thought maybe that it was a phony baloney deal.
It was direct from the kamikazes' quarters that didn't make it out. Leftover salt.
Pat?
Well, yes.
What is this game, St. John's River Falls? Can we watch that by any chance, I wonder?
Stream it.
Yeah, I think we can.
I'm not watching it on a computer.
Then I think you're out of luck.
Right, okay.
I think you're out of luck. Well, you can put the computer on your TV. If you know
I
how
can't.
to do that.
Yeah, you already do, Joe.
No, I can't.
Yeah, you already do streaming on your TV.
Ask one of those young ones running around your house to do it for you.
You already do watch TV on your computer. You just don't know it.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, tell a couple of those young kids that the Chiefs are playing, and they'll come over, and then they can fix the TV.
Yeah, that's right. Pat, we'll talk to you Monday.
All right, see ya.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Salt that was rolled on the outer thighs of geisha girls from.
We doing the scramble?
I don't know if that was called for.
Finally, thank God today is Friday. TGTI Friday. It's the scramble.
It is the weekly scramble, and as always, it's brought to us by our friends at Harmony Spirits, located in Harmony, Minnesota. Right there, Gabe. There you go. You can fade down that.
Bring her down. Bring her down.
HarmonySpirits.net, that's their website, but they're very prevalent on social media. Check out their Facebook page. They do a wonderful job of updating upcoming events and all sorts of things down there in Harmony, Minnesota. And I've got to believe it's a festive time of year to stop down at that tasting room in Harmony, Minnesota. So search them on Facebook, Harmony Spirits Distillery. Make sure you add the distillery to look them up on Facebook. They have wonderful handcrafted cocktails right there in the tasting room, and it's that rotating menu as well. There's always something different featured at Harmony Spirits in the tasting room. Doesn't matter what you're in the mood for. Vodka, gin. I love the fact that we've got an underage kid.
Smile, man.
As I'm doing an endorsement for a liquor company.
You last about 3 more weeks.
Vodka, gin, rum. Wait, am I going to be on the hook for that one too?
Yeah, Harmony, send them up.
Vodka, gin, rum. It's a wonderful product. It's grain to glass made right here in the great state of Minnesota. But stop by. Say hi to Larry, Damon, and the entire crew. But also go into your local liquor store and ask for the Harmony brand by name. That is truly how all of you GLers are going to help out our friends at Harmony Spirits. Joe, guess what we have right now? This time of the year, or this time of the week?
What?
We've got to make sure we mention our GLer of the week.
All right.
What's going on in this segment?
God, I'm getting to the age where I have to take off my glasses to read an email on my phone. I'm turning into one of you guys. Kyle Bauman of Pillager, Minnesota.
Yes.
Pillager, all right.
Kyle is the recipient of the Masters Maples. He is our GLer of the week. And you know what? All you have to do to be eligible to become the
Have a current address.
Right. Make sure it's make sure it's the right one. But you just have to upgrade to an annual town council membership, and you can become the GL of the week, just like Kyle from Pillager, Minnesota.
You know, before you start, I just about $10,000, about a year and a half of school at Brown Institute on Lake Street. three decades of running the board and learning how to do stuff. And you just think you can just hand this thing over to a 20-year-old punk that doesn't know jack about broadcasting?
Yeah.
And he still does a better job than me?
John, did you want the floor for a moment?
I did. I want to clear up some confusion we had earlier.
Actually.
I had a story in the news about clergy, speaking on behalf of the Somali folks in the Twin Cities. I know you hate the word folks. It's actually two separate stories. The one Kenny saw, and Rook, was it Rook or Chris?
Yes, it was Matthew and I,
That was in the Cedar Riverside neighborhood, and Chief O'Hara was there.
Okay.
And then I did look at video of that, and there was apparently, it looked like maybe 25 people tops. Then there was the one with the clergy where the other people came from different churches. It was in the Lyndale neighborhood. Well over 50 people there. It was, in fact, it gave me claustrophobia looking at the room. To be truthful, it was a very small room. So there's that now. And then we're talking about the sources. Apparently some people are confused about the sources because we didn't really give them. The source of those stories, they both were on KARE 11, and there was a Star Tribune story this morning about the clergy. So that's where it came from. So there was indeed 50 over the story I read. Was correct, in case anybody's
would you, John, would you do me a favor?
Sure.
Pronounce the word clergy.
Clergy.
He's been saying clergy.
I noticed that.
Clergy.
He gave it an extra syllable.
You're putting a little syllable in there.
What am I saying?
You almost said clergy.
Clergy.
But
he said clergy, like
just
Claire.
say clergy.
Clergy.
There you go.
Oh, he's not.
I want to address something too for you folks on YouTube.
And I have something, believe it or not.
You folks on YouTube that live
2:00.
You live in an echo chamber, and if we don't say what you want to hear, you get pissed off at us. And I asked for the source, and John wouldn't give it to me. And I'm going to tell you why. Normally, we don't bring this up on the air because we both thought, and I realized too late, that the source was in-house, downstairs, HBI. And I have a personal policy not to rip the people I work for. I don't care what you say about them. I love where I work, and I'm not going to rip the folks I work for. Right. And that's why John didn't bring it up, okay?
And it wasn't it wasn't from them anyway.
It turns out it wasn't even from our own folks.
Are you done with this intramural stuff?
What is
Joe, it makes me mad that these echo chamber morons, if we don't say exactly what they want to hear, they jump all over us.
Well, and the fact that they wouldn't bother to check it out themselves.
Yeah,
go ahead,
that's
Joe.
What
research people
the
before you're
story was
critical.
correct. So
yeah.
Joe, as a proud 21ster, I'm sure you're well versed in the following information. But as we approach the winter solstice, I thought this might be something you'd like to share with the rest of the GL Royal Order of the 21sters, of which I'm a charter member.
We're getting close.
Starting today, December 5th, we enter into a 10-day stretch whereby the sunset is the earliest it will be the entire year, taking place at 4:31 p.m. The sunset time will last through December 14th. Starting December 15th, the sun will set 1 minute later at 4:32 p.m. By the time... Well, just a minute, Steve. You said starting today, we enter a 10-day stretch where the sunset is the earliest it will be the entire year, 4:31 p.m., and that will last till December 14th. Then you say on December 15th, the sun will set 1 minute later at 4:32 p.m. Well, that's the latest of the year. By the time December 21st rolls around, the sun will stay out until the late hour of 4:34 p.m. Oh, I get it. 4:32 p.m. is earlier than is late.
What?
No, never mind. Steve's right. I was wrong.
More about that news
We're
story.
entering
yeah, let's talk about that news story.
Some GLers may question this information. I guess I did, and I was wrong. Believing the earliest sunset should take place on the 21st of December, it's important to note the 21st is indeed the shortest day of the year with the least amount of daylight hours, but throughout the month, our sunrise takes place progressively earlier in the morning. In fact, the latest sunrise does not occur until December 30th, when it arises at 7:51 a.m.
How do it do that?
The sunup time stays constant until January 5. It's not until January 6 when the sun ascends over Spoon Lake at 7:50 a.m., that we have a slightly earlier sunrise as we move well into spring.
We should celebrate on January 6th.
As you probably know, this is all due to the shape of the Earth's orbit, which is not a perfect circle, but rather an ellipse, causing the Earth's speed to vary as it orbits the sun. The Earth actually moves faster during the solstice. Keep pushing back and enjoy the 21st and all the revelry and celebration that it brings to Gumption County. Loyal GL listener in the belly of the beast, Liberal Lakes area of Minneapolis, Steve Mulholland. All I know is starting tomorrow is the start of 70 days between 60 degrees. I said that earlier in the show. And then also, with Steve's note here, today we're in a 10-day stretch where the sunset is the earliest it will be all year, 4:31 p.m. Only. Where are we?
Where are we in this?
Tell us.
We are cruising southward near the Greater Sundra Islands in the Suva Sea.
Oh.
What a trip the Lymans are
That's
on.
pretty cool.
Wow. I'd have to get out my map to know where that is.
Don't you have a globe?
I do. I don't know if she's got that Suva on there.
Oh.
Tell me where again? What sea?
The Suva Sea, S-U-V-A. The Suva Sea and the Greater Sunda, S-U-N-D-A, Sunda Islands. Wow. Those traveling Lymans.
They're everywhere.
How do you get Wi-Fi out there?
I'm not sure. Well, they must. It's on the ship. He sends this.
I suppose.
Yeah.
It's off of Indonesia.
Oh, boy. Well, it's only because they come all the way from that ship that we do this on this day.
Joe, today is December 5th. The last day it's going to be 4:31.
Oh, God.
No, the first day. It's 4:31 of many. On this day,
December 5th.
in 1853, Henry M. Reusse easily replaced Henry H. Sibley, who chose not to run for re-election as Minnesota Territory's delegate to Congress. Sibley had won the office by a narrow margin in a previous election following a heated campaign involving fur trade interests, with fur symbolized by Sibley and anti-fur by Alexander M. Mitchell, the candidate supported by Reusse. On this day,
December 5th.
in 1873, Lincoln County, named for the Civil War president, was created, having been established by the legislature on March 6th and approved by vote of the people in November. 3 previous attempts to rename or carve out a county in honor of Lincoln had failed to garner the requisite popular vote. What's that?
Carver County.
No, Lincoln.
L. Lancaster County.
No.
Lyon County.
Laquipare.
Lake of the Woods. No.
Log Jammer.
Lacaparo Lake, Lake of the Woods, LeSueur, Lincoln, and Lyon.
Lucky people.
On this day,
Joe, today is December 5th.
well, John Heidt has a little additional information about this. It was on this day that a snowstorm lasting until December 8th
Oh, my God.
dropped 35 inches on Duluth, 25 inches in the Twin Cities, and I was curious to see if there was great hysteria back then. Were they warning us what to have in the car and treats and snacks and things of that nature? John, what did you discover?
Well, the Minneapolis Star, December 7th, just had a small thing on the front page, said snow will fall for the 3rd straight day. Our consolation, though, is moderating temps. And then December 8th, they said Duluth here got the worst of it. There was a small story on the front page, and the headline was, "Snow?" ? You should see Duluth! !
Oh, boy.
And then a story about how much snow that they had gotten. There was no hysteria of any
Wonderful.
sort.
I love that.
On this day in sports disappointment history.
Who did we lose to on December 5th?
Well, on this day in 1996, the collective bargaining agreement apparently was reached between players and owners in baseball, which included revenue sharing. All right?
What?
Mm-hmm.
On this day,
Joe, today is December 5th.
in 1998, the Lynx were given their name. They were named the Lynx.
I never really understood the link.
And finally, on this day,
They play basketball, right?
on this day,
December 5th.
Cat.
in 2021, the Vikings lost to winless Detroit on the last play of the game.
Yikes.
And that's it, GLers. Thank you
Wow.
for all of your attention to this matter.
Yes, thank you very much. And you know what would be helpful if you joined the rest of the Eco Chamber morons on the YouTube channel every single day.
Whoopsie. I didn't say that, did I?
Yes, you did.
Whoopsies.
We start the show at noon every single day on that YouTube channel. You can also see full segments, video shorts, behind the scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube along with all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And you can also sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at garagelogic.com.
Congratulations, Gabe Mikulski.
Nice job, Gabe.
Good job.
Good job,
I don't think it was that good of a job.
Good job, me.